part
Yes.
two.
So what we're talking about, if you're just joining, is the most terrifying thing in the world, which is alien abduction. The most helpless that you can be. You have no control over anything that happens to you. And we played a clip from the movie The Fourth Kind, where you hear while she falls asleep, her tape recorder stays on and her husband's being taken. There's screaming, she's terrified, but you also hear a voice come through and it's speaking Sumerian. And why is Sumerian significant? As the chat was saying, and as we were saying, it's because the Sumerians are the oldest ancient civilization that we are aware of, at least advanced civilization we're aware of. And they worshipped gods that they said came from the stars. And they're very clear about where they come from. They have their own home planet, why they came here, and they created human beings as forced labor. We showed a few totems and some statues that were built by the Sumerians to worship these gods, alien gods, extraterrestrial gods, these Anunnaki. And they look like
lizard people with jerry curls, whatever.
Or ant people. Go up to the one above this one. That's even scarier. You've got with the
dead black eyes.
These huge
We're
black
back, baby. Yes, we are, Chase. We're back.
That's one
Hopefully
of the,
everybody found the stream. Is Angela here? Yep. Okay, Chaybot. We're good. We're good.
That's one of the biggest characteristics that you hear from abductees or experiencers is they had these big black eyes.
Yeah.
So abduction stories, where did this all start?
Yeah.
So what I was in the middle of saying is in the 40s, during World War II, is when we start seeing Foo Fighters over the battlefield overseas. The Germans thought it was us. We thought it was them. But these were intelligently controlled balls of light,
orbs,
right?
Yeah.
What's interesting is we had a recent whistleblower talk about he was wearing NVG's night vision goggles, and he was on a Navy ship, and there was a big glowing ball of light that came right over the bow. And everyone comes up to stare at this thing. And even though it's glowing this really bright light, it doesn't reflect light off of the bow nor the water. So for somehow the light is contained just around this object. He flips his NVGs down and looks at it through night vision. And he can see that it's actually a big metallic orb with 3 other metallic orbs spinning around it in a pattern. But if you were to take the NVGs off, it's just a ball of light.
So it can control how it's perceived, like the light?
Well, I think just certain spectrums of light allow you to see more.
That's what I'm saying. It's insane.
So whatever technology it uses, whatever the propulsion system is, whatever this technology is, through certain light spectrums, you're able to see more of the object.
So we have these crazy Foo Fighters we start seeing these weird objects. And then who were the first people to be like, those things took me up there?
Yeah. Well, so we get total UFO fever after we drop the bombs, the atom bombs, right?
Yeah.
Now we start seeing these things everywhere. They fly over the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. They put together what's called Project Blue Book that runs out of Wright Field, right? And that
runs out of Wright Field.
It's called Wright-Patterson. Yeah, now it used to be called Wright Field. That is supposedly where the wreckage of Roswell was taken. And there's a ton of deathbed confessions and whistleblowers that have come forward to talk about handling the material from Roswell, and that it was 100% a ship of unknown origin. And it was taken to Wright Field.
With the donation, glad we're back. Yeah, we're back, baby. Thank you so much. I'm glad most of us found our second stream. So weird that it happened, but
Shaybot, was Enoch a Sumerian? So Enoch comes from the Old Testament. He was the great grandfather of Noah and Noah. So the Sumerians, they had their own flood story with their own characters. He doesn't go by Noah in the Sumerian text. And you have to read the Epic of Gilgamesh to hear their version of that story. And off the top of my head, I cannot remember the name of the person that they chose to live through the flood. But it wasn't a big boat that he built to survive it. The boat looks very different in the Sumerian text. It's more of a flying saucer, honestly. It's more of a spaceship, cigar-shaped spaceship, but relatively, people think they see cigars. Then when it turns on its side, it's a disc.
Saucer.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't know. You don't know. And if they have the ability, based on the technology, to look different, these guys with the MVGs are seeing a metallic ball. Everyone else is just seeing light, right?
Yeah.
Well, that could be ball lightning. NVGs. Oh, that's not ball lightning. That's a ball. That is a metallic ball with other balls around it.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Say ball again.
Yeah. Again.
Ball again.
Yeah. Ball again. Ball again.
Ball again.
So where does the abduction part of the story
That's what I'm asking,
start?
Dude. No sleep month. Let's go.
So we have 1961 September.
Let's get some mood music.
So 1961 is the first abduction story that most people know about. It's one of the most famous. This is the Betty and Barney Hill case.
Oh yeah, baby.
This is the beginning of Now they did. So in September 1961, Betty and Barney Hill are driving back from Canada, and I think they're in New Hampshire at the time when this takes place.
Okay.
They're on a highway, all alone, trees on both sides, mountains out in the distance.
Optimal abduction scenario.
They even said they didn't pass another car on the road that night. They were all alone. It was them. They even had their dog with them.
Yeah.
So poor dog he has to live with what he saw that day.
And they didn't erase his memory, baby.
No, they gave him more memories.
Yeah. They gave him self-awareness.
Yeah, he's been trying.
And now he's trying to communicate without being able to.
In fact, he sits with his legs crossed, smoking a cigarette, trying to explain, but he can't speak English. But he could tell us everything if we could speak dog.
But he thinks his barks are English. So he's so confused when he's like, why aren't you people listening to me? But all they hear is...
Yeah, it's like Stewie from Family Guy.
Exactly. It's like, oh, quiet, Stewie.
So let's throw up a picture. What does Betty and Barney Hill look like?
We already did, but... Okay, yeah, let's do it again.
Let's keep it up there if it takes up the whole screen, we have to keep it up. But there's the dog that was with them.
Yeah,
so they're on the road. There's no other cars passing by. Like I said, trees on both sides of the road, mountains out in the distance, and Betty sees what she thinks is a shooting star. But it's weird because the shooting star is going up. So then she's like, wait,
that doesn't make sense at all. Yeah.
Probably not a shooting star, right? Yeah. And she tells Barney. Barney sees it. Oh, it's probably a plane, something like that. Something prosaic, they think. But it's moving, and it's moving erratically, and it's moving fast, and it's making turns, and it's way out in the distance at first, but it starts to get bigger. It starts to get brighter because it's getting closer. They pull over a couple times, and guess what they have with them? They have binoculars.
Okay.
They start staring at this thing through binoculars, but they still can't tell exactly what they're looking at yet, right? These were like 7x39, I think, zooms. It wasn't that great. They couldn't see it. It's too far in the distance.
Okay.
But it's getting closer and closer. And as they're driving, the whatever it is passes in front of the moon. And when it passes in front of the moon, they get a good look at it.
Yeah, okay.
It is cigar shaped from that angle. Yeah. And it has different lights, amber, green, red, flashing
all across the side.
On the side of the craft as it passes by the moon. And it's moving pretty quick. Goes behind the mountains, and they see a big bright light when it goes behind the mountains. So it lit up even further for some reason. Big bright light comes back over the hill, and now it starts following them. So now they're getting a little like, what? Okay, Barney still refuses to admit that it's anything but just a plane.
Yeah.
But Betty, her sister, had said she'd seen UFOs just weeks prior to this happening.
But this is like UFO fever.
So this is during the height of UFO fever. It's been going on for about 15 years. People have been seeing this stuff and talking about it. There's science fiction movies being made about it, science fiction comic books being made about it, aliens coming down. So it's in the zeitgeist. She's convinced that's what this is. At one point, the craft gets so close that it's only about, they say, 2 treetops high and maybe only a couple 100 feet away. Mm-hmm. And it pulls directly in front of their car on the highway and stops.
Oh, shit.
So Barney stops. Yeah. Because now it's right in front of them. And they notice there's windows on the side of it. He grabs his gun. He's got a little revolver in the car. He gets out of the car, tries walking up towards it to see what it is. And when he looks into the windows, he sees about 10 beings looking out back at him. One of them in the center he believes is staring directly into his eyes through the window of that craft. And it's just floating. It's hovering, making no sound. Now he knows for a fact it's not a plane.
Yeah.
But he said it's the size of a jet, of a passenger jet. So think of the size of a passenger jet hovering in place
silently
right in front of in the road, right in where you're going, where you have to go. And then there's this thing just looking through into your soul.
It's my literal nightmare, dude.
So what do? You got a gun? Right, you shoot
you want to know what I would do? You want to know honestly what I would do?
What would happen if you shot at him? I don't know. We've heard that they have retaliatory. Yeah, they can retaliate. They can turn you into rocks.
They Mars attacks me and just hit me with that little ray gun.
Pretty much. Their technology is so far beyond anything we can understand.
And I hear you say first off, the Hills and their dog.
Yeah.
LOL. Maybe something there was the dog with them.
Yeah, the dog was there.
There you go.
Dog was there.
And where did it go?
So what happens next? Right? He runs back to the car in a frenzy. He says, they're coming to take us. That's what he tells his wife. Something about that interaction.
Way to keep the situation calm and cool, bud.
Yeah, he says later that he noticed
Barney.
one of them walk away from the window to the back of the craft and started messing with like buttons or levers or something. He couldn't see but he was doing something.
Yeah.
And got that thing staring daggers at him, scared him so much that he ran to the car, slammed on the gas, and just took off, right?
Yeah.
And now the craft is out of view. They can't see the darn thing. Where did it go, right? They can't see it out the windows, but they can't see any stars either now.
Oh, cool. Dope.
So it's probably blocking the stars, and it's completely black.
No.
That means it's above you.
Yeah.
So they're driving, and they know how long it's going to take to get home, right? They know how far away from home they are. They know how fast they're going. They know how long it should take to get there. What happens is
the road
a series of beeps. No, they hear these weird beeping sounds, like a tuning fork sound they hear. Like bing, bing, bing. But as it happens, and it feels like it's coming from like near the trunk area. And every time it beeps, they feel the vibrations in their whole body. Right?
Dude,
they don't know
that's
what to
similar
make
to
of
another abduction story I heard, and that's sort of what put the guy like into a trance.
Oh.
But go on.
So interesting you say that. So they feel that, and it happens again, ding, 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 and then they all start to feel like kind of foggy-headed and unsure of what they're feeling.
Yeah.
But it's this beeping that's causing them to kind of feel a little out of it, and then they hear it one more time, bing, bing, bing,
and they pass out.
No.
Cool.
The fog the fog starts to clear. They start to feel normal, right?
Okay.
Craft's gone. Can't see it. Stars are back out.
We're all good, baby.
Everything seems to be fine.
We're good. It took off.
They get home.
We're good.
They look at their watches when they get home. Oh, it took us an extra few hours to get here.
Missing time. Not a good sign.
Also, our watches don't work anymore.
Oh, cool, dude. Yep. They got abducted, brother.
Now, Barney refuses to come to terms with what might have happened to them. But Betty, because her sister told her the story of seeing a saucer weeks earlier, and she was convinced that that is what they saw that night, she doesn't want to let it go. She immediately, and Barney's like, please, let's just never talk about this. I just want to forget this ever happened. The dog was like, I think we should move on.
Let's really move on from this horrific experience.
Guys, and he has his cigarette.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Guys,
let's get on with this.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Nothing good can come from this.
Just harping on it, harping on the memory of it.
We got to move on.
Yeah.
We got to move on.
But Betty refused.
She won't move on.
She said,
calls her
no,
sister,
Barney. No, what's the dog's name? Let's give it a good name.
Fife.
No, Fife.
Yeah.
Fee-fi-fo, no, buddy.
Fife is perfect. Fife, calm down, boy.
No, Betty.
Did you just tell me to calm down? Yeah, he talks like Madsen or something.
Yeah, I like it.
I'll put two in your knee, Betty.
Yeah.
You don't tell me to calm down.
Yeah.
Barney,
you're gonna bark all day, you little doggy.
So the dog doesn't want to talk about it. Barney doesn't want to talk about it. Betty won't shut up about it.
Fife.
She calls the Air Force Base, reports it. Right? She's like, this is what happened. We saw this thing, and we don't know what it is. It was hovering, and it had lights. There was things in it. They didn't look human.
Okay.
Please look into this for us and tell us. So they
good for her.
I don't know. They assign Blue Book to the case. Blue Book interviews them. They do like 11-hour interviews.
Yeah, great.
They separate them and have them do sketches.
Yeah,
sketches match, right?
Yeah.
Separate. They draw the same thing.
Fife actually was a great artist. Not a lot of people knew the dog was a brilliant artist.
Fife, he gave the best account.
Yeah.
So I've got a clip here.
It's quite simple, really. We were driving home and we heard a tuning fork. No, go on.
I've got a clip here about the abduction, and it kind of sets the tone before I get into the science of it.
Oof.
So let's watch this clip, 6 minutes, 32 seconds.
Not this one?
No.
Oh, this.
This is it, yeah.
6:32, he says. Oof.
So, yeah.
Is it the interview with 5?
Listen, no.
6:32?
We don't have those interviews. Yeah, here. It was investigated by Blue Book.
Silent.
Okay.
Strangely, though the light of the craft was brilliant, no light fell on the ground.
We've heard
The
that
craft
before.
slowly descended in his direction as he walked towards it. Betty started calling out to him, but he did not hear her. He looked through the binoculars again. It was then that Barney claimed he saw somewhere around 10 figures staring at him from out of the object's windows.
Listen to how he
He said
describes
the figures were humanoid in appearance, but that they seemed somehow not human. They appeared to be wearing glossy black uniforms and black caps with bells on them.
No.
Then,
Yeah.
all at once, all but one of the figures moved away from the windows towards the back wall. They started operating what looked like levers on what appeared to be some kind of control board.
Strange.
The craft moved in closer. The fins extended further out, and some sort of structure, compared to something like a ladder, began to descend from the craft.
Dude,
we're
that's
trying.
what I
Barney
would be
claimed
like.
his memory
No.
of this part was blurry, but he recalled the slanted eyes of the figure remaining at the window, whom he assumed to be the
Just
leader,
kept
staring at him,
as the ladder
practically
comes
feeling
down.
the figure's intense concentration.
He's like, oh, you're so
Terrified,
fucked, buddy.
Barney took off, running back towards the car, hopped in, and took off as
You
fast.
just told us.
So you
this
can
part
stop
of
it
the
there.
story.
Yeah. So this is what he recounts, though, to
Blue Book.
To Blue Book. He tells that part because that's all they can remember. So they have this great idea. We're going to do hypnotic regression. Right?
Oh God.
Hypnotic regression is a great way to uncover memories that your mind is protecting you
For a
from.
reason.
And they use, this is a real psychological practice.
Yeah.
You can go to any psychiatrist in your hometown and have them do hypnotic regression on you to uncover some pain in your past that you might not be realizing is holding you back.
Yeah.
I have a clip from the movie The Fourth Kind.
Oh God.
They do hypnotic regression
It's
on
the worst.
an abduction victim.
It's the actual worst.
Yeah, and it's interesting because in the movie, when they put these people's brains back into the state of remembering the abduction,
It's no bueno.
there's physical consequences. So that might tell us
Is it this
something
one?
about what abduction is.
It's all the
2
same
minutes,
one.
50 seconds.
Yeah, I'm right there. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. All right. Hold on to your asses. Whatever.
Every time I reach 1, you will be asleep. 5,
AKA a mind F.
Standard.
Yeah,
4,
exactly.
3,
Element induction.
2, 1.
And it shows like the side by side of the quote unquote actual footage.
So they want to hear, okay, what happened? This is the memory gap where he sees an owl. That's what they're trying
Yeah.
to figure out. What really happened? He didn't see an owl. So tell us what you saw.
Ooh, dude.
Oh my God! Yeah!
I have goosebumps.
And there's the Sumerian.
Oh, what's it saying?
And the study. Basically,
Hold on, the first thing?
Stop talking to me. Stop trying to find out what's happening.
No need to pray. Dude, what a well done movie. I mean, seriously.
Holy crap, right?
Bro.
That's like adrenaline rush central.
Straight up.
So alien possession in the chat. That's interesting you say that. There are a lot of lines that we can draw between religion and the alien phenomenon, or
Between
the ET
aliens
phenomenon.
and demons.
Demons for sure. In the book Eminent, Lou Elizondo's book, he says that there were folks that believed these were demons, people above him, ranked higher than him, that wanted the program he was working on to end because they already knew what they were looking at. They were demons. No need to look at demons. Don't study demons. That's bad. Because these were very religious people.
Sure.
And he talks about this, what they call the Collins Elite. Recently,
The what?
the Collins Elite. This is this religious group of high-ranking officials that have the purse strings on SAP programs like his that can kill your program if they want. And they're just this elite group of
The string
very
pullers.
religious
Okay.
folks. And they believe that this is a demonic phenomenon.
So
That
they don't want any funding towards any of this. They don't want any of this information.
they think
getting
looking
out.
into it is
a terrible idea.
Yep.
It's blasphemous.
But we know that they are looking into it and that they have been since the 40s. Just a few days ago, a whistleblower came forward
Yeah.
with the name of the actual program.
Dude, maybe the creepiest thing I've ever heard.
It is. And it's, yeah.
So
Great
this-
way to put it.
This program
Yeah.
that has been going on since the 40s.
Yep.
That how many high-ranking officials have been read in
This
on?
is the name of the program above all of the programs that deal with this
that
topic.
the Jeremy Corbells and the George Knapps.
Yep.
They've heard this name and
Yep.
they dared to utter it aloud.
Yeah, insiders, and they named it something that you couldn't just accidentally say.
That
It
no-
is-
you would never just
never.
come across on your own or just spout out.
Yep.
You say it. So
So the name of the program was Immaculate Constellation.
it's the creepiest thing.
It has religious
Connotations.
right away, right? Immaculate
Conception. It
Constellation.
sounds like immaculate
Yep.
conception, but constellation.
Yep. And it was said that just saying those words where you could be heard,
Yeah.
you would get a FISA warrant issued for you immediately. They would be listening to your phone calls and watching you as soon as you mentioned those two words together.
So former whistleblowers like Grush and stuff, you think they knew this term and just
Yep.
refused or decided not to go the route of saying it or letting loose on it?
Insiders in the program, people that are probably still in it,
Yeah.
knew that Grush knew the name of the program. And how do we know that? There's actual
yeah.
proof of this.
Oh yeah.
So when Michael Schellenberger, he's famous for the Twitter files investigation. He's an investigative journalist. He looked into this topic, the UFO topic, and he found a whistleblower who told him the name of this program. And he said, if you say this program's name, you'll have a FISA warrant issued for you. People like Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, like you just said, were aware of the name of the project, but would never say it because they knew they'd be under immediate surveillance, right?
Yeah.
Schellenberger says it, puts it out there, does a whole expose with the name of the program, okay? And just so we are clear on the name, immaculate meaning without sin.
Yeah.
Constellation, collection of stars. This is the crash retrieval program. That's what this is, right? This is a collection of stars, a collection of objects of the divine.
From the divine.
What else do you? Yeah. What else do you?
That's the implication
take from
with
that?
the name.
Yeah. So what they're studying is closely related to religion. There's really no other
That's
way to
the
look
inference,
at that.
sure.
Yeah.
Immaculate constellation.
Yeah.
But so what you were about to say though is David Grush comes out.
Oh, what was the
and-
initial exactly?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So how do we know Grush knew about it? So right before Grush goes to the hearing at Congress, the famous hearing where he was there with Ryan Graves, David Fravor, before he gives his testimony, the only time Google has searches for the phrase immaculate constellation is the
Right.
day before the hearing.
So basically what that tells me
Yeah.
is anybody
Yep.
who knew of that term were like, oh shit, is Grush spilling the beans?
Did he mention
Did he
this?
say it? Okay, no, there's not a fucking single result.
And how do we draw that conclusion? Just from the Google search results, they
It's
came
never been
from
searched before.
Dayton, Ohio, where Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is.
Yeah.
Those are the only people looking
So
for
then
it.
again, the inference you can make is people who work at Wright-Patterson, they go home to Dayton. What is it? Yeah, Dayton.
Yeah. And they search, did Grush say the program name?
Is this going to be on the cover of
Exactly.
New York Times?
Yeah.
No, it's not. All right, we're good for
Yeah.
now.
And that search result, well, next time at least.
What if we're not even gone? We're just like,
It says live.
we just click on it though. Is it like?
Yeah.
We'll go to the very most recent.
This is the most recent.
Oh, it looks like we're back.
Okay.
Well, go to the most recent. See if.
That's it. I can't go any further.
Okay, yeah, it's. Yeah, we're live right now. Okay, cool. All right, sorry, guys. I thought we got fucking pinged again.
Again.
It skipped or something. Okay, yeah, we did for a second.
Okay.
We're back. All right, sorry, guys. Dude.
So again, yes, in the comments, you're 100% right. It sounds demonic. These people in the program, they always say the same thing. If you knew what I knew, you would not want this disclosed. Something demonic here. When the OSAP program was looking at Skinwalker Ranch and they were looking at these UFOs, they were being followed home by poltergeists. There were poltergeist activity where UFO sightings are. There's some connection here between what we consider to be paranormal. What do you think of when I say paranormal, right? Ghosts and such. Right. And these sightings. So I like how the fourth kind connected the two.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that in the mind, when she brings them back to the time of the abduction, that there's this physical reaction and that the beings are speaking through him live.
What does
right there?
What does that even mean, though? Is he reciting things that were spoken to him?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think it's
either.
a live feed.
It's like we've said before in many an episode.
Yeah.
We're all antennas
Connected.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
We receive and output.
And these
output.
things are masters of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could sort of infer that them tapping into that moment, the whatever took them, that speaks that language for whatever reason, is coming through and saying, "Hey guys, check it out. There's I am God." Whatever the freaking crazy.
Time's not linear for them. Maybe they might. You know what I mean? Action happens in the mind. There could be a physical aspect to it. We know because we have testimony of that. But what if there is this way of abducting you without ever touching you?
Yeah.
Because we have a soul or whatever you want to consider that. The Akashic records that we talk about, the ether, there is this unity, and they're able to tap into. How do abduction victims say that they were spoken to by their captors? It's always in their mind. They're talking through psychokinesis,
a psychomantis, whatever the hell
they use telepathy. They talk to you in your own head.
But why do they speak Sumerian?
I like that.
That's so crazy.
That's just a cool little thing they added in there.
I know. Dude, so many clever little things they added in there. Sleep paralysis. We were actually talking about this on our production call thing. Because you were saying
horrifying.
If sleep paralysis is like one of the most terrifying things, this is sleep paralysis times 1,000.
Yes.
Because it's also sort of like sleep paralysis, but these are actual memories, perhaps.
You know what? I'll liken it to. So you go to get a surgery at a hospital.
Yeah.
And the anesthesiologist gives you the paralytic, but he just forgets to give you the pain med.
Yeah.
So you can't scream. You can't move.
That's a nightmare. Yeah.
You can't fight. You can't even tell them that you're feeling it.
Yeah.
But you're watching them operate on you, and you feel
Dude,
every
have you seen
cut.
the Travis Walton movie? What's it called?
Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky.
Yeah.
Dude, the end where it shows like his abduction that as he recounts it, them putting that plastic sheet on him.
Oh yeah, that kind of
things into him, and he's just there screaming, horrified.
Well, let's end Barney Hill, right? So they do the regression on them, and they recount very similar things that they were put on tables and studied, and reproductive.
Worse.
Being abducted, that this is a real phenomenon. And he writes a book called Abduction, Human Encounters with Aliens. And I have a picture of what that looks like. And it was when this book came out, it was like in 94, where a lot of people that had been hiding what happened to them or too scared to talk about what happened to them came forward and started recounting their horrible brush with these things, whatever they are.
With abduction cases.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it's
my worst nightmare, dude. Give me a ghost. Give me a ghoul. Give me a goblin. Give me a vampire. Give me a fucking werewolf.
Paralyzes you and takes you.
It's just, it's the unknown. It's the unknown. There's so much. Are you going to take me into outer space and probe me? Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you? What? You know?
Yeah, and Betty and Barney Hill, that's like one of the most famous cases. That's in the 60s.
Yeah.
In the 70s, we have, I would say, just as famous of a case, November 5th, 1975.
Fire in the Sky.
Herbert
Oh.
Arizona,
Oh yeah.
Travis Walton.
Yeah, man.
This is a weird. No, it's just a weird thing to do in general. But yeah, he just runs over towards it, like they're on their way home.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So he runs to it, and then he gets blown back and like knocked out. So his buddies run up to him. They think he's fucking dead, right? Isn't that the story as you remember?
No, they run.
Oh, they
Don't
off.
even check on him.
They take
They
off.
just peel out.
And they're assholes.
Yeah,
They just take
because
off.
they see the craft. The craft is clear as
They're
day.
just assuming, oh, he's a goner.
Yeah.
Fuck him. He'll
It's
find his
hovering
own way.
above a bunch of
That's
like
right.
logs, a bunch of cut wood, and it's
Yeah.
real bright light. And Travis is like, I want to see this thing. And he just runs in
That's
there.
right,
And
yeah.
then a flash of light comes out of the craft and blows him about 10 feet back.
And then that's when they're like,
That's when the friends say,
later. Yeah.
and they run. Yeah.
They take off. And then finally they get the
calm down,
wheel
yeah.
back in. They go to look for him and they can't
Yeah.
find him.
He's gone. Craft's gone.
And then so now they got to like get police involved and they
Yeah,
got to
which
explain
they
this
do.
story, which they do. And
It's a
like,
famous story, and people might have heard it before. You know what I found most bizarre about this story?
What?
When the
real quick later, Travis suddenly appears places they already looked before, appears on the ground and has this amazing story to tell about being abducted.
well, right. So they tell the sheriff a craft took him. Right. He ran
okay,
towards it.
what really happened? No,
So,
boys. Yeah.
dude, they go and tell the mom, ma'am, your son, his friends say that he was taken by something, a craft, a UFO. And she says, well, that's how it goes. Like that was her response to that.
Weird.
His sister, same reaction. Not shock, not fear, not wait, what? A UFO took him? She has this very similar reaction, just like, well, yeah, I hear that happens. What the hell is that?
Such an odd.
It is.
Odd response.
The mom called off the search several times, telling law enforcement he's not on this planet. There's no reason to be looking for him. That's his mom. She was so certain that he had been taken off of the planet that she tried to stop searchers from searching.
So I don't think that's being a bad mother. I think it's like maybe intuition. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm certain that the story these boys are telling is
Yeah.
true, and he's not there. You're wasting your time.
So
And
why
I
does
just
Travis
want you
think they
guys-
took him? Yeah, because this goes to your point. Do you remember why Travis thinks they took him?
No, I don't.
That it was an accident. That they were just powering up the ship. He happened to be too close, and they hurt him.
Oh, is that his theory?
Yeah, because the only thing they did to him was try to help him. They tried to fix him. They tried to heal him, and so they brought him onto the table, and they were trying to. And because he was awake and aware, they weren't planning to abduct him. So he wasn't paralyzed, none of those classic symptoms. He could move, he could fight, he could scream. He was fighting what he said were the Greys, these short beings.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get off the table. So they call in another being who looks human, just like you and me. And I have Travis Walton talking about this in the clip. Let's look at it.
Poor Trav.
So it is a lot of abductees say that they're the Greys, but they're not the ones in charge.
Real quick, let me ask you a question. If you
See?
went through all of this, if you see,
Okay.
so if you were to go through all of this horrible, horrible shit, but at the end, the pot of gold at the end of this rainbow is they'll tell you what, and you ask any 5 questions you want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You'd go through the fucking whole ordeal.
This actually happened. There was a UFO landing
Wait,
where
what
these,
happened?
Yeah. So the exact location, fuzzy
something
on.
you want to tell me?
No, I
know.
But the details I'm fuzzy on because I haven't heard the story in a while. But this was a testimony given, I think, to an investigator, a UFO investigator, by a UFO that was corroborated to have been seen in the area. It landed, and the pilots were outside working out.
What? Pumping iron.
Yeah, a couple young guys, I think they were in their teens, early 20s, come up to them and say, hey, where are you from? What are you guys doing here? And they answer all of their questions. But there's one question they refuse to answer. They ask about God and Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And
no.
they won't
No
go.
religious, no politics around here.
Isn't that
guys.
interesting? They
very-
didn't want to talk religion. That was the only questions they weren't willing to answer. How's the craft work? Tell you. Where are you from? So-and-so star?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Why are you here? Oh, we're just doing the. Is Jesus real?
Whoa! How fucking dare you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna go there? Yeah, that's creepy.
That is.
What does that say? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I hate it. I don't know. I don't like thinking about it. Moving on. It's terrifying.
But we keep seeing these lines being drawn between these
Religion
entities and religion,
aliens,
and they won't answer religious questions.
Okay,
but
so
yes, would I allow myself to be abducted so that I could ask any questions I want?
So check it out. You're abducted, then you don't. You have the memory
What kind
loss.
of abduction is this? Are they doing exploratory
Oh
surgeries?
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, right on your balls. They're cutting open your balls.
Yeah. So
That's what I'm saying. Is the juice worth the squeeze here? So they're maybe probes are involved.
no. Yeah, I don't. Well, okay.
Check it out.
Is
Well,
there
check it out. Hold on.
anesthetics? Like, am I going to feel all this?
You in the moment, it's like, oh, I feel a little, wait. And then you're out again. Then you come back to it. It's like, ah. So it's intermittent, right? Spurts of consciousness, okay? And then, but they're playing with your ball, right? They're teeing up everything, okay? And they're making a real messy insides. And they put it all back together just fine, right?
Right. They've got the technology to. They'd probably make me healthier, if anything.
So you had a cold sore. Not going to say why. They got rid of it.
That's what they fixed.
Yeah, that's a
Waste of time.
Such a waste. But so check it out. But then you go home.
Yeah.
And you have this somewhat memory, like, oh, did this happen? And you're sort of fighting with your own
That
self.
would drive
right?
me crazy, though.
Okay, but check it out. But then you do some regressive hypnosis.
I don't want to do that.
But this is part of this is juice worth the squeeze.
No.
And then so you go through, and then you realize, okay, I did go through it, but I remember I asked them questions, and here's what I asked them, and here were the answers.
I would want to be fully aware. I don't want them to erase my
you don't get all
memory,
that.
and I want to be able to ask questions
Not
and
an option.
remember the answers.
Not
I don't
an
want to have to
option.
go through hypnosis. No,
You have to
I
go
don't
through
wanna do
regressive
all that.
hypnosis to remember the answers.
Nah, no thanks. It's too
All right,
much.
so what small thing has to change for you to accept that premise?
Pretty much that. I would want to. So I don't want to feel the pain, but I want to be aware
bit- you
of
gotta- you
everything
gotta
that
feel a
happens,
little bit of
so
pain.
that I can ask my questions, know the answers.
So
I
it's-
don't want to
it's like-
wonder if it happened. I
it's-
want to
so-
know it happened.
It's like anesthetic, a little and painkiller, so you can see them cutting your balls all the way open.
I wouldn't
but you
look.
don't feel it.
I'm
It doesn't
not
hurt.
gonna look.
It feels like like I know they're doing stuff because I
Right.
feel the movement and the tearing and the
Yeah, yeah,
pulling
yeah.
and the pushing.
But I'm not gonna feel pain.
no pain.
Okay, and I can ask questions, but I just want to remember. I don't want to have to go through hypnosis to remember.
Okay,
'Cause then
we
you still
forget the
don't
regressive
know.
hypnosis.
You still aren't
There's
sure.
spurts that you are of forgetfulness.
Okay.
Right? Things you don't remember, but you do remember asking questions, 5 questions of your choosing and getting the exact answers you wanted.
The chat. Yeah, your ball's never going to be the same. You need to ask about the gravity shields. Yeah. Technology questions. I feel like we have a lot out there. There's a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would need to know 100% that it happened because that would drive me crazy.
So
not knowing.
100% you know.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So
And I can ask any questions and they give me the
any
answers.
5.
Yeah.
Give me an example of what one of the questions would be.
So I would want to know how the technology works.
And they say
Specifically.
it's anti-gravitic.
Yeah, no, but I want to know how it works.
Okay, so we
How
have
it was discovered, the history of it, what were the steps that you took to get there? Why?
well, that's a whole nother question. That's all 5 questions.
I only get 5? I thought I got to just keep asking questions.
No, you only get 5.
So the one question would be, I want to know everything about how your ship works. I want to know the history of it, how you made the breakthroughs, the material science.
No more.
Why
That's
you did it. No. That's one question.
Yeah, okay.
I want,
So you could have parts.
One question is, I want to know everything about your technology, about this
Okay.
anti-gravity technology or your propulsion system. I want to know everything about it. That would be one
So that's
question.
you could say all encompassing. I want to know everything about your
Yeah.
tech, and then they say a bunch of jargon that you don't understand, and then what would be another one?
No, I would continue. They need to be able to.
So
it can't
you
take
get
away
5
from my
questions with qualifiers. You do get
exactly,
qualifiers.
exactly. So if they say something like, okay, so when you say this,
So
how do you mean?
we use the schlurp, and you're like, well, what's a schlurp?
Right.
Yeah.
It would have to be in
You
language
get
that I
qualifiers.
understand.
You get
Yeah.
qualifiers.
Great.
Yeah.
I would ask them about space time. I would ask them about their ability to see.
Would you ask
into
them about
the future?
and the religious connotations?
That'd probably be the last thing I would. I would get into.
that'd be the coup de grace, right?
Yeah.
You'd hit him with the. And lastly, I know you thought you were dodging this, motherfuckers, but you're not.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jesus Christ, my
Yeah.
guy?
I'd want to know why they let
And they're like, "Oh, Jesus,
Why they let us
Jesus,
take them?
someone's asking about you."
Like, why they let us take them sometimes? Why they let us
But what about what I just
question
said?
them?
Hey, Jesus.
Oh, you think he's there?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Come over here and answer this young man's questions.
Yeah,
Jesus.
he's still there.
He's still next.
Yeah, you're making it sound stupid, but
Dude,
it's actually
what
really
if
cool.
like Captain America, the best character wasn't there, but it was a chick that he liked instead?
So
And
here's
you
some
put him in the fucking Iron Man armor.
Yeah, there's some cool, dude. They're all great stories. You should watch them.
No, obviously I have.
How old are they?
Dude, what if
That's a
Gamora
good
was
question.
like Thanos, bro?
Do they eat? Can you peel your eye back real quick?
The live keeps freezing. We know, Angela. I'm sorry. The government's after us.
Darn the Obama phone. Yeah, but no, those are some good questions.
That's a good question.
Yeah, the eyes. Right. So a lot of the abductees say that the Greys are not in charge. That what Travis says is looks like a human that you could pass on the street, you would have no idea. They look just like us. They're the ones in charge. They actually bring one in to calm him down so they can finish fixing and healing him. When they're done and he's fully healed, they drop him off. It's been about 5 days.
Yeah, ugh.
He said to him, it felt like a few hours. So time dilation. There's a lot there. But I have a
Maybe
clip of
just
him
time
explaining
dilation.
what these beings were like. And this clip is 50 minutes, 15 seconds.
began.
Is it this vid? Yeah, probably. 1515?
What's the name? Oh, I can't see. That doesn't look right. No, it should be. Oh, that's it. Okay. 50-15.
Oh, this is it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
5015.
Yeah, 50 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, I got you now.
So this is from Travis's mouth. He's going to tell us what these beings look like, and what they made him feel. And it's an interesting
Ooh,
answer.
Sexy.
And his answers have never changed.
Let's talk about some of the visual aspects of what happened when you were abducted in 1975. So you mentioned that visually they look like humans.
This is the theory of
And
everything.
I
The channel.
believe on Joe
Great
Rogan you
channel.
described them as
Wait a minute. Humanoid. A humanoid does not mean looking like people that pass on the street in my town.
It's like
Humanoid
bipedal.
means 2 arms, 2 legs, a head
Yeah,
on top,
like
eyes in
grapes.
front, rather than looking like a large crab or
Yeah.
a cockroach or something of that nature. So a lot of people have
Same thing.
a misconception. The Greys are humanoid.
Yeah.
And then there were other beings that, if they were living